Welcome back, everyone. What a week it has been. Watches and Wonders 2026 was one of the most heavily covered, most broadcasted editions of the show we've seen in years, and for good reason. There was a lot happening. A new Rolex Daytona that has everyone on their toes, some really exciting Vacheron dual-time colorways that I generally cannot wait to see in person, also known as the Cardinal Points. And with my favorite brand, Patek Philippe, well, let's just say there were a few hiccups that I have some thoughts on. Unfortunately, the moment that was supposed to define the show, the 50th anniversary Nautilus, was, in my opinion, redundant and lazy, but I'll leave it at that. The conversation deserves its own time and place, and we will get there. Today is about the pieces we actually have in hand, and this is a strong lineup, so let's hop right into it. So our first timepiece today, and that's going to be the original Celestial, the 5102J. The Patek 5102J in yellow gold, and you need to understand what you're looking at here. It was a watch that was launched in 2002, and in my view is arguably one of the most game-changing orological complications ever engineered for a wristwatch. The concept was derived directly from the most complicated watch at the time, which was the Sky Moon Tourbillon reference 5002, and they took the Celestial component principle and built a whole dedicated reference around it, and that's the pedigree. They made the 5102s, they made the 6102s, they made them with baguettes, and of course, finally, the new 6159 that Patek released this week. And the dial is actually not a dial in the traditional sense. It is a literal living sky map. There's 3 sapphire crystal discs that are layered one on top of one another. So if this watch were to ever need some type of service, I can assure you one thing, your local watchmaker will not be able to do it. So make sure you send that to Patek for service. Each one of the discs is in motion to simulate the apparent angular rotation of the stars and the orbit of the moon across the northern hemisphere, and framing the portion of the sky visible from Geneva, obviously, and from every city sharing Geneva's latitude. To achieve this astronomical accuracy required for this display, apparently Patek's engineers evaluated 25 trillion ratio combinations. That number is worth repeating, 25 trillion. That tells you everything about the level of exactitude and complication demanded to make a 5102J, or a 6102, or a 6159. With our asking price being $190,000, I believe for one of the most technically and artistically significant watches ever made, that's not a hard number to justify. All right, let's jump into watch number 2, and it's going to be a Rolex, the Platinum Day-Date reference 218206, otherwise known as the Phantom. If you caught our last new arrivals video, you heard me go into detail about what the Day-Date 2 meant for me personally at the time, the cultural weight of it carried in the early 2010s, and how watching someone come through with it on their wrist signaled to me like that person absolutely made it. The rose gold, the yellow gold, those were the statements. They were loud, they were deliberate, they were unapologetic. Although quieter in color, it's louder in significance and can be immediately differentiated from its gold counterparts, given the smooth dome bezel, and that immediately signals that it is a platinum watch. Anyone who truly knows watches understands that platinum is the apex predator of the president lineage. Now add the Phantom dial. The Phantom configuration refers to the way the dial is executed. It's dark, it's monochromatic in its presentation against the platinum case, and the contrast, in my opinion, it just looks mean, subdued, which sounds counterintuitive for a Day-Date, but it actually creates something that reads as both powerful and refined simultaneously. It is, in my opinion, the best Day-Date 2 configuration ever produced. Not one of the best, the best. It is a watch-only example, and we have a price at $49,000, so if you're looking for something special from the Day-Date lineage, this is a legitimate opportunity. Now coming in at number 3 for this week is going to be the Nardin Classico Chronograph reference 381-22. It is a monopusher, and I want to take a moment here and touch Ulysse Nardin for a second. It is a brand that doesn't nearly get the respect it deserves in mainstream watch conversations, and that gap between recognition and actual achievement is significant. And trust me, I have seen and experienced a lot of watches. Think about what this house has produced over time. The Genghis Khan minute repeater, where Mongols are literally fighting with swords on the dial, driven entirely by the energy of the striking mechanism. Same thing with the Alexander the Great, which delivers the same thing. The Erotica series. These are watches at the time that pushed the absolute boundaries of what animated, mechanical, artistically driven watchmaking could be. And then, of course, there is the Freak. Launched in 2001, it rewrote the rulebook entirely. No dial, no hands, no crown. The entire movement rotates as the hour hand. The carousel itself is the display, and beyond the concept, it is the first wristwatch in history to incorporate a silicone escapement. Every modern watch brand using silicone technology today is building on what Nardin pioneered like 25 years ago. The Freak has continued to evolve. The Diablo, the Vision, the S, the One, each iteration a laboratory on the wrist. And of course, if you caught this year's Watches and Wonders on any social media platform, you would see that one of the main attractions of the show was the Super Freak, and it absolutely stole the show. But here's where this Classico fits in. Before the Freak changed everything, Nardin was producing classical timepieces such as this. And this 38122 monopusher chrono is a classical composition in yellow gold with a single pusher operation. The single pusher, or monopusher, is one of my favorite complication formats. I mean, there's just something that's so special about the simplicity of it. One button that controls everything. Start, stop, reset in sequence. No split, no complication of interaction, just one push, one function. Furthermore, the caliber inside the watch, and I don't really like to talk about what's inside watches. I tend to talk about whether I like the watch from an aesthetic standpoint, its position in the market in terms of pricing, and its overall demand. But one thing that absolutely stands out about this watch, it was designed, or the movement I should say, was designed by Vianney Halter, Dennis Flageolet, the founder of De Bethune, and of course the great F.P. Journe. Three of the most important independent watchmakers of their generation collaborating on a single movement. And here you have the monopusher Classico Ulysse Nardin at $18,000. You're essentially wearing a piece of watchmaking history designed by three legends of the craft. Pure stealth wealth. Which brings me to my fourth watch, the perfect segue, because it actually has the same movement, the same DNA that lives in this piece. The Cartier Privé Tortue monopusher chrono in platinum from the Collection Privé Cartier Paris. The CPCP line is Cartier's answer to a question serious collectors asked for years. What would Cartier produce if they set aside commercial consideration entirely and simply made the watches they wanted to? The Collection Privé was that answer. It's limited, it's uncompromising, rooted in Cartier's deepest archival shapes, executed with the finest materials and the most important movements that they could source. And it's just a very handsome looking watch. The asymmetrical curved rectangular form is one of the most recognized shapes in the history of horology, kind of like the royal locus for AP, and Cartier has never let it die because it really never needed to. Inside again, like the Nardin, is the same monopusher chrono movement developed by Vianney Halter, Dennis Flageolet, and Journe. The three masters with one button, one push. That is it. The complication serves the wearer rather than the other way around. Limited to just 200 pieces, is coming in new at $79,000. So if you appreciate the intersection of Cartier design, heritage, platinum construction, and a movement touched by three of the greatest names in independent watchmaking, this is one of the pieces that you should be adding to your collection today. So finally, we close out today with one of the most in-demand Royal Oak chronograph executions on the market right now, the AP Royal Oak chronograph, 41 millimeters, black ceramic, reference 26240CE. This reference was introduced in 2022 as part of AP's 50th anniversary of the Royal Oak, and across the entire 41 chronograph family, which at this point includes blue, white, stainless steel, rose gold, and various dial updates, the ceramic stands alone. Oh wow, the blue dial is great, the white dial is great. They carry that familiar, kind of been there, done that quality for a certain collector, and this is where ceramic is a completely different animal. Modern, it's aggressive, it commands a room, and I genuinely mean this, the black ceramic Royal Oak chronograph looks incredible on essentially everyone. It works everywhere with everything at all times. And that kind of universal wearability in a watch at this level is very rare. Now, getting one is a near impossible allocation to pull from an authorized dealer, as I'm sure some of you out there have tried. AP is not really handing these out, and the list price sits at just under $90,000 retail, and we have it at $119,000. When you account for the reality of what it actually costs most people to acquire these watches, the relationships, the lunches, the dinners, the empty promises, the broken dreams, $119,000 for this watch out the door seems like a bargain. So that is 5 pieces today spanning the full spectrum from a Patek Celestial in yellow gold to one of the most coveted AP references in production, a Hall of Fame Day-Date Prezi, and 2 Mono Pusher classics. And look, we've got a lot more to say about Watches and Wonders 2026, but I'm genuinely curious whether you guys embrace the new direction of the Celestial and your overall thoughts on Watches and Wonders. I'd love to hear your thoughts below. For now, everything is live here at luxurybazaar.com. Reach out to the team with any questions. We're here 24/7, 365. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you on the next new arrivals.